Welcome back to ChasingLightGallery.com. I'm here with Robin, and we're playing catch up on a lot of stuff, so I'm sorry we're very much behind on quite a few things. We have so many projects going on and staying busy with clients and things like that. This video, we're going to be covering a lot of questions we get, and Robin and I both try to keep up with questions constantly with people daily. And sometimes a lot of people have the same questions, so we decided to make a video adding all these questions in and see if we can answer them for many people. And so the first question is, what's the number one mistake beginners make when composing a shot? And how do you fix it? That can be a tough one. What do you think?
I just know when I'm a beginner, I think I was so in my head about just grabbing the shot that I didn't really put a lot of thought into it on what I needed to do. Where now, as I may think a little bit more about what I'm trying to capture and what's the intention of the photo. So in the beginning, the brain is all over the place. You just snap quickly. You don't really put a lot of thought into that, I don't think.
Yeah, you kind of have to have a reason to want to push the button. Photography's two different things. You're either documenting something or you're shooting it for a piece of art. Mm-hmm. And if you're shooting for a piece of art, you really got to kind of slow down and really look at the proper angles to capture the emotion of the photo. If you're documenting, it depends on what you're shooting, really. Mm-hmm. There's not one true trick, I would say, but except for slow down and really look at and take your time at what you're seeing before.
Right, absolutely. I think when you literally just take the time to slow down, think about why do you want to take this photo, mm-hmm. and then try to capture it in its authenticity if you can.
Yeah. So I hope that helps out, but that'd be my biggest, pointers. Slow down and really take your time looking at the photo, mm-hmm. Before you push the shutter. Okay. What are the key Lightroom tools every beginner should master first? What do you think?
That was very confusing because, I never edited till I met you.
Right.
And it was very overwhelming. But I remember you told me, start from the top. Work your way down and get this section the way you want it, and then the next section. But also, one of the key things I think you taught me was don't globally edit the photo.
Right.
So you told me to take it in sections, mm-hmm. and get this part right, then move over it using the masking tools. So that was all. I remember you'd say, use a brush. I'm like, well, what's the brush? There's so many tools that you knew so well. And it was confusing as a beginner.
Yeah.
But over time, repeat, you start understanding more. And you've told me several times.
Develop a process.
I think it's easy for a beginner to forget mm-hmm. certain things, so that you would, remind me, don't global edit that. What are you doing? Oh, yeah. So you definitely have to be reminded. But global editing, I think, was one of the big things you taught me, and how to use the masking tools. And Lightroom's updated so well now that that's a lot easier process than when you first taught me.
Yeah, starting out, I would just start at the very top of the tools with white balance, exposure, highlights, contrast, shadows, whites, blacks. Get used to that. Masking will come later, but get used to controlling that, because those tools right there. The white balance sets the mood. Is it a cold or is mm-hmm. it a warm photo? Mm-hmm. And then the exposure tools and things like that, they start developing the depth, like what details are going to come forward, what are going to fall back. And it starts taking a flat photo and starting to bring it forward. And then you just start working your way down through each of the steps mm-hmm. over time, but practice with the very top part first. Mm-hmm. Because if you don't get that right, adding all the colors and stuff, it can turn into just mud, So I hope that helps. let's see if we can go on to the next one. Can you really get great shots with budget gear, or does glass matter? What do you think?
I think glass is wonderful. However, I've seen a lot of shots you've taken with really budget gear. And if I look at those photos today, and what was that, 25, 30 years ago? Those are still outstanding to me. I couldn't tell if you used glass or plastic or what you used.
Right.
It was the photo itself. You did a phenomenal job with whatever you had. So there again, I think it just depends on you as the artist capturing.
Getting to know your gear. I'm a firm believer, you don't need top-of-the-line glass. Starting out, definitely not. You can get the budget stuff and get extremely tack-sharp shots. Now, online, there's going to be people that argue this point. But you got to realize, go look and see what they're shooting. If they're wildlife and sports photographers, they're going to invest in high-end glass because they want the focus to be very quick or very far away and very sharp. You know, and wedding photographers invest in high-end glass because they want to see every little eyelash, and and you can still see every little eyelash with budget gear, but the focus is a lot quicker on high-end glass. I own high-end glass, so does Robin, but the majority of the time we're shooting with budget gear. And I've compared the two side by side. I can't tell a big difference, and I love running around with budget gear because it's lightweight, and when you're out walking 8-9 hours in a day taking shots, you don't want to be lugging all that heavy glass and all these lenses. I just throw on a budget lens and I'm gone for the day. I'm just go. I don't bring a ton with me.
But I think that shows you really took time to learn what that particular lens is capable of, and you push it to its limit, no matter if it's budget or expensive gear.
Right.
So taking time with that particular lens and understanding what you can get with that, I think makes a big difference.
Yeah, and every lens has its strength and every lens has its weakness. Even a $10,000 lens is going to distort in the corners, just like a $99 50 millimeter lens is going to distort in the corners. It's just the characteristics of lenses. Some are better for low light than others. Even budget, you can get a 1.8 that does great in low light. I wouldn't buy a budget, 4.0 f-stop because it's only going to be good during the day. You would never get me to use that because I like shooting low light as well. But yes, I'm all for budget lenses. Want to take your photography to the next level? From mastering your camera settings to stunning shots, I've got you covered. Join me as I break down pro techniques step by step. Start creating like a pro today. Check out the link below. Chasing Light Gallery.